All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Filthy NA Cup Weekly number 5. I am Tempo, joined by the one and only Drenok. What is good, and how is your tie doing?
The tie is doing phenomenally. I call it a knock. You need to stroke it to keep it good, but I'm proud of it. How's your scarf doing, Tempo? Like really, just
It's
how's it
doing,
feel?
it's pretty good,
Um,
yeah.
how does it help with the babes? Is the real question. Let's just throw that out there right
I'm
off the
gonna
bat.
leave that one to your imagination, Drenok.
But in my imagination, that's a dangerous job. I
Yeah,
would not give anything to my imagination, Tempo. But guys, you know what I would give to my imagination? I don't even know what I'd give to my imagination. Let's be frank. But this is the Filthy NA Weekly numero 5, and I'm pretty dang excited. Tempo, first time casting with you, first time you're on the show. I've never said that on the show. Thanks for being on the show
right?
with me, Tempo. I appreciate it. But this is the weekly number 5, which means we have $100 prize pool, 75 to the first place winner, 25 to second, and OSC points. But Tempo, I know you're looking through that bracket. I know you're excited. Who do we got there? Who do we have checked in?
We have quite a few people here already. If you guys are not looking at the bracket right now, a lot of your favorite NA players, such as of course, players like M. Canning, who has recently got a lot of popularity lately, which is nice to see him here in the tournament. But we also have a few players such as, let's see, No Regret. Can I do
Mm.
my Side Storm bias here, or should I
Yes,
just
you
let it
can.
go?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a Psystorm bias. The entirety of the Filthy is the Psystorm. The Psystorm creates the Filthy. Technically, Filthy created Psystorm. But, guys, of course, this is hosted by Damon, so I feel like you have to be biased. I don't think there's any way
All
not to
right.
be
Well,
biased.
we got No Regret. We got our homie Bowman. Of course, we also have NYK from the B team too. But
Ooh.
I mean, some other players that are going to be joining here are going to obviously be Penguin SC, who has a dual citizenship, Caleb Arrakis, who also used to go by the name Captain Buttbeard, one of my favorite names in
But beard.
yep. And then of
Yes,
course
that's what
Kai
I
Fire from
remember.
Michigan. He is the self-proclaimed best player out of Michigan. Kai Fire. Winter always says, I'm the best player out of Michigan, but Kai Fire is a Protoss player. Winter, of course, a Zerg player for his main race, but also a random player. But we do have, we have quite a bit of people here. Dolan, I don't know if Drunken Boy,
Dolan,
Ray
yep. Drunken
Rain,
boy.
Huck. I mean, Bio
Jon
Ice.
Snow. We
Yeah,
got Sir Robin. We have Draven. We have Raynor. No, not the. Is that Raynor? Is that the Raynor or is that another Raynor? Because there's Raynor
the Rainer is
combined soon.
EU. Yeah, so
Good
some
point.
of
If
the
it's the
people that
real
are
Raynor,
here,
you can't play.
like Jim Raynor.
Hmm? No, there's Raynor,
So
who used to be on My Insanity, who
kidding.
is from Italy, I want to say. So he would not
I'm
be able to
just
play.
kidding.
But we also have Rengen, who I've casted. Pardon me.
Out of
Casted on a
ASL.
number of online cups and yeah, ASL especially.
So we have quite a few people. Nistic is here as well, and one of our favorites, Siegfried.
Oh
And
yeah.
also, never forget about our homeboy Game Time. Every time you see his
Mm,
name, you think of Showtime from Spain, but Game Time is a
yeah.
really solid player from NA as well. But
Mm.
when I look at this bracket, I do look at certain players such as Hawk. I see Jon Snow and Ice, Novagret, EJK. A lot of really nice players here that I think will be getting to the further points of the tournament, but you never know who is going to actually rise up during these kind of weekly tournaments and who will take who out. So as soon as we know who will play who, it's a little bit easier to kind of say who is favored in this matchup and who is not. So,
Definitely, and I'm especially excited to see McAnning do something here. I'm never sure what to call him. What's okay? Is it
I'm
McAnning or
canning,
I
I'm
always
canning, I'm canning.
M Canning? Because at first I always thought it was like MC Anning, like he was an MC, a DJ named Anning because he's got the first. And then I was like, wait, maybe he's Irish, so it's like McAnning. Oh yes, McAnning. I
Yeah,
know
his
it's
last
that
name
was
is
terrible.
Canning.
Don't go off
His
on
name
me.
is Chris, but for some reason his initial is M Canning. So I
Maybe
don't.
Chris is his middle name and his first name's like Mariah,
Chris is his
and he's
first name. Maybe
like
his middle name is
ugh.
like Mariah.
Mariah. Yes, that's probably his middle name. His middle name is Mariah. We've solved it. But I'm excited to see how he's going to pit up versus these other players. He is a more recent phenomenon of a streamer, recent meaning maybe like 6-ish months, doing a great job, very high GM. And I'm curious within that how he will pit up versus some of these, I don't want to say more experienced, but more known players, especially like, even though Jon Snow may not be as good, etc., I think he is as good. But even though you do that, he's still been here for 3, 4, 5 years, and he's been around. He's been around the block a few times, so it'll be really cool to see how he pit up, especially with him finally checking in the previous tournaments he's signed up but never quite checked in.
Yeah, and we also have a few players that I do recognize. Fat Cat Chef is also here. So I guess we'll figure out who we're gonna cast first. I'm not really sure exactly who we want to grab, but as you can already see by round two, some of the players that you may recognize are already seeded into the second round of the tournament. Perhaps they have
Huck,
been
for
here.
example.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm wondering if they've been here already, or just kind of that name factor. I think they have actually played in the Filthy NA Cup previously, but
Yeah,
we got a nice
we
bracket in the beginning here, Drenok, and it's time to see who's going to be able to fight
the
on through.
major the majority of all these players have played in the Filthy NA Weekly before. Jon Snow, Huck, No Regret. I don't think we've had Sir Robin before, but I'll number these players: Siegfried and probably the two newcomers here, of course. M. Canning. M. Canning, am I saying it right?
Yeah, I'm
M.
canning.
Canning. Okay, M. Canning is one of the newcomers, and then we have Drunken Boy and Sir Robin, which I do not believe have played before in any of these. So I think that's pretty cool. Doing a nice job for him.
Yeah, and Sir Robin is another player that is also streaming quite a bit. Drunken Boy, a lot of people know him from most likely WCS. He's a very well-known NA player, solid Terran player actually. There are not a lot of Terran players in NA, and Drunken Boy is definitely one of those players, especially with QXC retiring. You think about Drunken Boy, you think about Masa, who are some other ones here? Semper, who's not
Mm-hmm.
here today, unfortunately, but
Semper, very good. Yeah, Masa also. Okay.
yep. So I think definitely someone to keep your eyes on,
Looks
even
like
though
the
we're
first.
not.
Yeah, it looks like the first series of this. I want to say evening normally, but this afternoon will be Siegfried versus Padre. That is Rival Gaming Siegfried versus Flipside Tactics Padre, and that's pretty cool. You got Flipside Tactics, really a team that little bit older, but kind of came in when there was a time where there's still not that many teams picking up players, and was like, yeah, cool, okay, like yeah, here's some puck, here's some of this, here's some of this, and getting a nice roster going. The same thing for Rival, great community
Same for
team, I'd
Raffle, yeah.
say. I'd say
Even
almost
what
Size Storm. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, one of the newer casters from ASL, Koski, is actually representing Rival as well. And Padre used to be part of Clarity, a very old school
Ooh.
NA clan. And I'm wondering if Flipside was kind of Clarity and maybe some others that actually merged into another clan.
I
Kind of the way, yeah.
I believe that is true. Either way, you kind of have. I was thinking Rival Team Gravity. Then you had Storm, and Storm has kind of come ahead as
I mean,
also
they're
Team
the best
Ascension in
team,
there, but
obviously.
oh yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They kind of came ahead as the other ones are community, but we have good players, and now this is like we're pro, and we got this. They really came into their own.
Yeah. No, I was just kidding. Obviously, Filthy Rake, one of the wonderful, well, the wonderful man putting this all together, and obviously does represent Sidestorm Gaming pretty heavily. I would say that if he was casting, he would have a pretty heavy bias, but that's why he's behind the scenes and not casting at the moment. Not because of that, just because if his bias did show, you might be like, man, I thought this was a regular tournament for everybody in NA, not just Sidestorm. But
Definitely, I would give him a 7 1/3 out of 7 1/3. If anyone ever asked me how much I loved him, yeah, approximately 7 1/3 out of that. But guys, here we are on Dusk Towers in the bottom left-hand corner from the Rival Gaming. It is Siegfried, the Orange Protoss.
wow. Well, his
Oh,
opponent in the top, representing that sexy blue, give it up for Padre from Flipside Tactics. And as Damon did say that you did not hear, Siegfried makes a lot of the Liquipedia entries and would you say pictures, I believe.
Just updates all the
updates all the
brackets, does a
scores.
lot of
Yeah.
really cool stuff. He not only does that for this, he does that for Rival, he does that for ASL.
Yep.
And I remember it all now because I remember one day we were online, I was casting ASL, and someone updated all the brackets of like 32 man down to the finals, everything. And we're like, wow, we gotta find this guy. So we looked up Segiifried and we're like, thank you, and he was like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, no, thank you so much. He's like, I mean, I do it for everything. Like, it's cool. And that's just like his thing, man. He truly is like, I want to be in the community, so I'll do it. What can I do? Well,
I'll be the Liquipedia guy.
yeah, we need someone to do the really dirty job of doing a whole bunch of Liquipedia edits. Like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, well, we got ourselves a PvP. Already that we do have this kind of Nexus First, and I'm wondering nowadays, or it's not Nexus First, rather, it is a gateway into Nexus here.
Yep. Staying safe.
Yeah, very, very common nowadays. Remember in PvP back in the day where it's like, if you expand first, you lose the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
and that
nowadays,
was
Legacy's
huge.
different, yeah.
It was really scary, and yeah, almost nowadays in Legacy, there's no one base play. It's a two base play. You just kind of evolved into a slightly different shape, and you could maybe just maybe on some maps do a one base play. However, on Dusk Towers with a pocket base in the back like they have, it's so hard and it's too risky to do anything of the sort like that. But one thing to notice right off the bat is Parde did steal the second gas of Segiifried, which is actually huge if Parde chooses to be aggressive. Now, generally off the gate Nexus, you can't be quite as aggressive as you'd like to. If you went Nexus first and double gate, you could. But either way, with that, he's delaying gas, and that's no small feat. That is a huge hit into Segiifried. He's not going to be able to get up to tech as quickly or get out units to defend.
But one of the big things that we do notice here is the fact that Segiifried did decide to take that gas immediately at his natural, so he will already be mining there. So it makes me wonder if that is a waste of 75 minerals, because if it was a one-base play, excuse me, like a lot of the times back in the day, this would be a big deal, I think, but it almost feels like it's not as impactful, only because of the fact that Segiifried is going to be able to mine here from the natural. So I think in the days... Yeah.
I think in the older days with like one base would affect it a little bit more, it'd be harder to actually do anything because you're on one base. It'll hit your gas economy hard. That does delay the Stargate of Segiifried significantly, though. You can see Segiifried's Stargate is on the way. It's about halfway done. Wow, there's already Phoenix production for Parde coming out, and that's going to go on the right-hand side. He's going to be able to really just easily stomp out Segiifried's Phoenix and air production overall. But just a quick, you're seeing, obviously, we're seeing air and generally in PvP, we've been seeing Blink Stalker Disruptor, Adept drops, whatever, and it's starting to migrate. I wonder, Tempo, is this maybe a little bit of a defense versus robotics? That's how you're kind of gearing. You're okay. If he goes Warp Prism, I'll Phoenixes, or is this very clear? We're both going to go Stargate. Let the wars start.
Let him begin, right? I think it's more so a defense against what you said earlier, whether it would be a Warp Prism, but it also would defend against an Oracle. Say one of them were to go for that in the beginning. That would be a nice defense against it, but they're both going for Phoenixes, and then they're going to meet, and it's going to get kind of awkward because the player that has the least amount of Phoenixes is usually going to be losing that battle unless they have a really crazy amount and they do that kind of... there's a cool micro trick you can do, but I don't know if the first time they interact, it's going to come into play. So we need to keep an eye on to that as the game does progress, but... I don't know, Drenok. This is a very interesting PvP, especially in Legacy of the Void. Because of that, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree. It is a very wacky thing, and it's going to be cool to see how it changes. Especially on a map like Dusk Towers, where you do traditionally see disruptors and a lot of AoE in the middle of the map. You have a choke point going from the left to right, the east to west, and that's what you see, and they're both just kind of opting out and saying, no, we're not going to have that style. And is that... Segiifried. Segiifried having a little bit of lag right here. Hopefully he'll be back in. We won't disqualify him if he does come out right here. But just a quick note while this is going on. Segiifried knows he's behind right now. He did add on a second Stargate to be able to compensate and get back in. Looks like we're all good. Segiifried just making sure that there's not too much lag. But I think overall, Tempo, they may just barely even out with Defender's advantage for Segiifried with the extra Stargate. And Tempo... Confirm D.
I didn't do anything. What did I do?
Tempo.
What? I can't even talk to them,
as
man.
you cast. DDoSing as you cast. You can't even say anything.
I can't even say I'm helpless right now. Oh no. Can somebody like have my back? We're on
Oh,
the playground right now, and somebody just like took my spot on the swing, and I need somebody to like back me up right
someone.
now.
No, no, no.
Wow,
You
what?
you ch- you
Dreadnought.
lost you lost the guy that pulls you back. That's what you lost. So you're like running up
Somebody
onto the
under.
swing. You're on the swing, and you're like, yeah. And then your best friend's like, I'm not pushing you. I'm pushing my hot
No.
date right now. So you're gonna. This is playground rules, guys.
I've never told you this, but like one day I was in summer camp and my camp counselor did an underdog, but he did it too hard and like just like got wrecked. He
Got
pushed me
wrecked.
so high that I fell off the swing, and he gave me a pack of Jolly Ranchers so that I would forget about it and not like sue him because I mean I was only like 7, didn't know about suing too much, but yeah, man,
He's like, you're gonna learn about a thing
I've
called
had some
suing,
scary
and you're
stories,
not
bro.
gonna do it.
Yeah, I've had some very scary stories when it comes to swings, and this is very reminiscent of that. Comcast. I have
Hashtag
some.
Tempo
Wow, dude.
DDoS.
You know what? I'm sick of this whole. What the heck, man? He's supposed to have
And
my
we
back.
can't. We just can't do it. We can't do it right here. Rip Siegfried having some issues, but guys, it's game 1 of a best of 3 PvP. We are
Yeah.
currently, if I can get to them brackets, we are currently in the round of 1, or the very first
Or
round.
yeah. If it was round of
See,
1, it'd be the finals after that guy won.
oh yeah, that's intense, man. The round of 1. I'm gonna face myself up. Yeah, that'd be great. He's got one. He's got okay. It's normal 1v1. One mouse is controlling one player. The keyboard's controlling the other one. It's just really, really hard.
Play
There's
yourself.
been a couple times I've been in game and like realized, whoa, the arrow keys move my camera. I seriously want to try having a game where you can only use your keyboard. Of course, you'd need your left click to be like enter or something, but
Mhm.
you can only use your keyboard to play. Like, I really want to try that.
You need to
Very
hit up
legitimately.
cats. Hit up cats, and he did that something similar to that at BlizzCon, and also at like PAX. He will play games against viewers and also people that come by the booth.
Only
But I
with
think we're gonna
mouse?
get back
Or?
into the game. Yeah, he'll do like only mouse, only keyboard, stuff like that, and do pretty well.
That's intense.
I think we're gonna be okay here, Drenok.
I watched that. That was really intense. But yeah, I think we're all gonna be okay in total. Just an FYI, as I was saying, even though Siegfried added on 2 gates, so did Padre. He's even it up, and he's not gonna lose that lead. He's got a 2 Phoenix lead tempo, and I
Yeah.
agree. I think he may be able to clobber that. But you also got to remember, Mama Core, photon overcharge. If you have defender's advantage, you just photon overcharge, and I bought myself a few seconds, maybe even sniped one of your Phoenixes.
Yeah, and I think the kind of situation that we do have here, usually you would think that Siegfried, the man with the lesser Phoenixes, would take the 3rd earlier, but Padre is ahead in Phoenixes. He's also ahead in the economy as far as the 3rd base goes, and they're both kind of doing very similar things. And I'm wondering like where they're gonna go because they haven't really scouted each other yet. You know, like nobody knows how many Phoenixes, or
Yeah.
rather, how many Stargates are on each other's side of the map.
Oh, but
And
there
they
it
can-
is.
Yeah.
Siegfried moves in with Adepts and is able to scout the Stargates. Looks like Padre is going to be easily able to clean it up, but he's sending Phoenixes across the other side of the map. It is 12 Phoenixes of Padre to the 10 of Siegfried, but there's the Photon Overcharge, and that's really important. Maybe Siegfried can fight. Now Siegfried is 11 to the 10 of Padre. He can push it back. He is okay. He survived. He's going to have to
He
wait
lost 2
for
Phoenixes
the
there,
energy to
Drenok.
move. Oh, yeah, that's
You know?
not good.
And remember that he had the Phoenix advantage. And the thing about PvP is that if you have the kind of air dominance, you are gonna run the game. PvP is very awkward when it comes to the stage, Phoenix versus Phoenix. But the fact that he had the lead and then lost 2, it isn't really
Okay.
mathematical. Yeah, it's not. It shouldn't happen ever. But I think Siegfried finally found his way here just by that little tiny win. And that 3rd base coming up a little bit later is not going to be as big of a deal as it would be, say, had he not lost those Phoenixes.
Siegfried's got to be feeling confident. Yeah, Padre moves in, just pushes it back, but Padre is saying, "Okay, I'm going to do safe then. I'm going to add on a 3rd Stargate." And Siegfried is mirroring him beautifully, but it's a mirror that's a minute to maybe a minute and 10, 15 seconds behind right now at this
Something
point.
big to note here: there are 2 different things going on here, Drenok. It looks like Siegfried took the Anion Pulse Crystal, so he will have the range on the Phoenixes, but the +1 is here for our rival, or rather flip side, to Padre. So he has a better upgrade as far as attack goes, but he doesn't have the range. And I think that's going to come into play when they actually start to engage, unless they like right click into each other and don't realize it. It's really up to our Anion Pulse Crystal user, which is Segiifried. So let's see how he actually goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. If Padre A-clicks, if both of them A-move, then Padre does have the slight advantage. However, if Segiifried can kite for a while, he's going to put himself in a great position. Right now, they are even on Phoenixes. It is 20-20. The Mama Core is in a little bit of a precarious position for Padre, but it will not be killed. Double foot on overcharge if that third base does go down. And, you know, with that, if Segiifried can force out these photon overcharges, we've seen his opponent, Padre, also use Adepts. Maybe Segiifried sneaks a few Adepts in there and forces the Phoenixes to fight Phoenixes while there's nothing on the ground, no photon overcharge to deal with the Adepts. But it looks like the big battle's going to happen.
What? Oh my god, here. Phoenix is doing that kind of cool micro. They're going to find that Mothership Core here and take it out immediately. And that means no more photon overcharges, Drenok. And you know what? With that kind of range upgrade, and I think he also has the advantage here. 25 Phoenixes to 22. I think Segiifried is going to be able to go in. He needs to go try to get some economic damage done if he can. But he's not really capitalizing on that situation because of the cannons in that mineral line. And now
yeah, Padre having to commit to that third base a little bit harder with taking it earlier. He was unsure about what was going on, and with that, there's been a few seconds where he hasn't been building Phoenixes. He's had to get out probes. He's had to get out some cannons, and as you said, now we see Segiifried with a very slight lead in the Protoss, who has that lead, is going to have a very dominant controlling position in these PvPs of air.
Yeah, this is such a cool PvP because, like, it looks so dumb and kind of passive, but this is actually a big Phoenix battle. You got to stack them Phoenixes and see if you can actually target down those of your opponent. The +1 is here for our blue Protoss player, Padre, but you remember that the range upgrade is going to be really nice if he's able to continue to kite. Oh, Segiifried, I think he's lagging.
And right as the big fight was going to happen. Oh, man, Segiifried once again, right as the big fight now. Oh, what? There we are. He's still got the lead, though. He's still got a very slight lead, and he feels great. Looks like
he has a numbers lead.
He's taking fights everywhere, man.
He doesn't have the +1, though. Do you think it's going to be better, the fact that you have the range of the +1? I'm wondering. It looks like it is going to be better for the range.
The range is going to be better when you have a little bit of micro, when you have a little bit of kiting. Ideally, Padre just wants to run headlong into Segiifried, and Segiifried doesn't kite because then the +1 will help him. But as you just saw, we now have 16 Phoenixes to 0. 4 were just made right as that happened, but GG, Segiifried takes air, and in turn, takes the game. Segiifried wins game 1, a best of 3.
So, very, very interesting PvP. A lot of the times, it doesn't go to that. At least, I haven't seen it that often. But I remember, like, back in Heart of the Swarm, that would happen a lot more. Because you usually would see the Oracle come first, and then there's, like, a transition to Blink Stalker. And then after Blink Stalker, you go Disruptor, take it to the ground. But they decided to both take it to the air.
Yeah, and every once in a while, also in Heart of the Swarm, you'd see a little bit of a similar thing of a big, like, Void Ray. That was more early Heart of the Swarm, late Wings of Liberty type stuff, but very interesting build, and they both did it right off the bat with relatively little scouting. Now, there was some scouting, but you even got to remember that Padre started that off with a gas block. Now, I know, as you mentioned, Tempo, that it's not as important because there was a natural base, but even with that, he denies that, and kind of his whole mindset is, I'm going to go Phoenixes quick. I'm going to go them stronger than you because you don't have the gas. And that was true. He went quicker. He did that. He did that. But Segiifried's macro is just so impeccable. I almost wonder, even if it's not Phoenix v Phoenix, if he can still do the same thing. If Padre goes Robo a little earlier, and it's Immortal v Immortal, or it's Disruptor v Disruptor. Segiifried just seemed to be slightly more on top.
Honestly, I just don't think the gas steal is that impactful anymore, because PvP, like, if you think about it, the way that it's evolved is the fact that you used to be on one base for a lot longer. So if you take a second base like super early, taking a gas, it means that you're investing 75 minerals in nothing, almost like a pylon rush that didn't even have a mothership core to back it up.
Oh yeah, and with that, you know, there's no pylon rush. By the lack thereof, or by the lack of any pressure, or
you can't overcharge in the simulator. It's not the beta.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, you can't overcharge. I love that. Blizzard's like, well, I mean, how do we help Protoss defend? Well, there's pylons, but you know what there is? There's mineral fields and there's probes. Why can't we just photon overcharge all probes? I want that.
We used to be able to photon overcharge the mineral pads. Why not, right? But
yeah, why not, man?
We do have ourselves these players. This is going to get crazy soon. We have our player representing Flipside Tactics in the bottom left corner. It is Padre.
And his opponent, the one who is crazy, from Rival Gaming, it is the Orange Protoss Segiifried with
Household
a Proby
name, right?
McProberson across the map. And as you said, if they do take that gas tempo, then you'd be like, well, sucks for you because you're not doing something creepy now. Creepy, not crazy, Kappa.
This is
Creepy
kind of
builds.
I've seen this work before. I was casting the CSL later or earlier in the week rather, and it usually will work if you put your wall at the ramp, but it looks like Padre is going to be making his gateways at his nexus here, so I think the cannon rush is going to have to be a little bit more in plain sight.
Oh man, Padre is not having a fun day dealing with this one probe. Finally, does he have it? He's gonna pull all his probes to left hand side. He's only got 4 probes mining, and now there's another probe by Segiifried already in the base, and there's the pylons up. Oh, the one probe gets away. There's been so many opportunities for Padre, but he sends the same number of probes after it, and looks like there's a cannon. Now there is a prime real estate. There is prime real estate to get a surround on it, and it's gonna be canceled.
Yeah,
Padre defends in an unlikely manner.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened, I don't think. You know, he lost 2 probes, and he wasn't doing the mineral trick at all to run through them, so he has 2 pylons on the other side of the map, and I kind of find it funny that we were talking about the gas steal last time, and then kind of alluding it to the fact that it's like putting a pylon on the other side of the map and not doing an overcharge with it. Well, guess what, Drenok? It's 2 pylons here. 200 minerals out of Segiifried, who was down by 5 workers, and he didn't get anything done with that except for the mining time that was lost from our flip side tactics Protoss.
Not only has Segiifried lost some economy, he's also lost a very important tech path in his road to, of course, Warp Gate. He's got no cybernetics core. He opened up Forge first. Now he's got a cybernetics core, and it looks like he was going to try to, I guess, maybe photon cannon again. That may be your best idea, but Segiifried once again is in a precarious position, and I wonder if he's got lag affecting this right now, because both players seem to control the probes a little bit strangely, and Segiifried was looking good, and then it was a blah, just blah, went downhill.
It was
Wait, he needs that probe? He needs that probe? Oh.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think Segiifried is kind of doing some damage control right now. He's like, well, that didn't do much. Might as well try to take an expansion, but I think if he's able to get, well, if he doesn't get hit at all by any kind of push or any tech out of Padre, his Nexus is actually going to be really important for the rest of the game. Because that cannon, have you seen that cannon before, Drenok? I remember being in Silver League and being like, okay, the Protoss is making cannon at his main.
I remember being
going void rays.
Yeah, that's actually, I remember being like, oh no, the cannon. And I'd try to be really greedy, and then there'd be like 30 void rays at my 4th base when it's like the 5-minute mark, and I'm like, oh. Those numbers completely accurate, by the way. 1 cannon at the front to hold this off, but I'm more worried about the main base on the inside because there's nothing defending there if the Mama Core wanted to reposition, but now we have some stalkers out, and it looks like Padre, he's going to try to push it, but that's a risky move. That is a really risky move.
A very risky move, and you know, I think he's trying to bait it out as best as he can. The fact that Padre has not opted to go for a base means that he does want to do something here. What kind of tech did he pick? He picked the Stargate, and he's adding another gateway here. Drenok, are we going to really see just a big push-up here out of Padre?
He started off the game looking like he wanted to secure a natural, but after defending that Forge Fast Expander, pardon me, the
he's going to lose a Mothership Core for no reason.
There's the Mama Core, and there's a Force Field right there. The Sentry, Segiifried has all the tools. It's just, as I said, I feel like Segiifried overall, he's just much more of a safe, airtight player than we're seeing Padre right here. Padre's going to keep pushing up. He's going to try to focus down something, but there's nothing here. He can't push.
No. I feel like Padre's throwing this away in the sense that he's trying to push the issue when he already had that mineral advantage by the 2 pylons that didn't do anything. Segiifried invested in like a cannon rush and it didn't do anything. So he's trying to actually attack into somebody who's most likely going to play defensive after that.
Very defensive.
If he took an advantage or by taking an expansion after that and going with the tech, I feel like he would have been able to do a lot more, but he's going to try to push the issue. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going to work, but it could because the Mothership Core is very low on energy here for Segiifried.
Now, normally you may see a Twilight Council for the Protoss, aka Padre, but this time it's going to be an Oracle. It's going to either force Segiifried to pull back the Mama Core or his Stalkers to defend this. Looks like it's going to hit the natural base, do some damage. Only 2 pros, but the Mama Core, everything's getting pushed out of the way. Oh no, the Sentries will not be forced out of the way for that Oracle. Looks like a couple will be, but Padre's being careful, and Segiifried is. Segiifried with the force field. Padre pushes up, but is going to be denied once again. And honestly, as you said, he's put himself in a precarious position where, honestly, he doesn't have the tools. Normally you'd see a Blink Twilight Council, but he just doesn't have that.
No, Oracle gonna go into the mineral line. There's nothing here, as you said earlier. And
Photon?
this is a move.
Is it Photon?
This is the move. I feel like if Padre did this and expanded, he would have been in a much better position, but
it's gonna wreck everything.
Going for the kill. Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay, man.
Kills.
There are no more probes there. Oh god. This is great.
Photon overcharges one of his forward pylons right there and does not Photon overcharge one of the ones in the main, and because of that, it is now 8 probes to 23 of Padre. 24 have been killed in total, and that went his way. As you said, if he was in a good position, then got himself into a ditch, and with that, he's pulled himself back out, and now is a very strong contain. He's taken a natural off the back of this tempo. What does Segiifried do from here? The games, the tables,
Segiifried is screwed, man. He needs to do something, because if you're going to go for Robo, you can't really put a lot of pressure on unless you go for the War Prism. But he's playing it safe, and you can't really play it safe when you're in this position, you know? You have to take risks. You have to do something good, and the Oracle might survive, but it's going to get taken down here by the Stalker.
There's no sentries at the front. If Padre reacts, looks like he won't quite for a little while. There's no more Photon overcharges. Yeah. Padre, he's just going to hang out.
The fact that he's only on 8 workers, or Segiifried, Padre can chill here for the rest of the game.
Segiifried's not repositioning! No! Padre lives it again, and is going to take out just everything. Oh, man. Looks like we have 5 probes, very valiant fighting probes, but Segiifried, he is contained, and the winner of Game 1 was Segiifried, so if he wishes to concede, it would be 1-1.
He's going to fight it out here.
He's going to have to kill his own gate.
Oh, that's pretty hurtful here, as he's only working off of 3 at the moment, which will bring it down to a whopping 2.
Okay, he's only got 5 probes income, though. It's not like he's got a lot to warp in. Like, it's okay, guys. We don't have too much to warp in, don't have too much income, but he's going to try to posture out, and he's got the Mama Core back at home to defend. You might as well keep the Mama Core with it. Heck, you're not falling back from this. You're not putting overcharging at home. He's got to go for it.
Nope, and you know why that Padre is not engaging is because he knows he has a better economic advantage. Another Oracle is on the way, so Segiifried needs to react. Not even. He's just gonna go workers, man. Like, he's just gonna clean it up, and I feel like Segiifried is dead. He's essentially
third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Segiifried Photon overcharge. There we go. But it's gonna be a little bit too late, resulting in a couple more kills. Only 1 probe is left. Mining gas.
Yeah. And the sentry goes down, so that means that there is another one coming. 1 sentry. That's all you need is a force field here. Warp in 1 more round here for Padre, and that 1 immortal is actually going to be able to hold it here. I just don't see Segiifried able to break the ramp.
Oh, the adept. No, I don't see him either. Right now, it is 31 army supply of Padre to the 27 of Segiifried. Padre does have a slight lead. He's got the immortal, which is a huge pusher. Like, unless Segiifried somehow had his Oracle, Stargate, something else, he's got some cool utilities with these sentries, but you just can't beat the brunt of the immortal. As you said, it's almost checkmate.
Not with 1 worker, you know. Sometimes, you know, casters try not to sugarcoat things or, you know, try to sell it. But this is somebody slapping you in the head with a fish and saying, yo, buy my fish right now.
Segiifried believes, though. He believes. He's got great force fields, and he's gonna do it, man.
Pretty good force fields, by the way. These are really
slash
good.
dance. There's the GG. There's some Gangnam style dancing for the Stalkers Immortals. GG, though. Padre evens it up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, it was only over because of the fact that Segiifried did not account for the possibility of an Oracle, and he lost every one of his workers, which is pretty, you know, if that happens, it's like, well, crap, that kind of sucked. And you have a certain window of time to react, and he did not react in that time because of the contain. And then he just kind of slowly died.
He even had what he needed. He had the Photon overcharge, but out of reaction to the attack at the front, that pressure on the main, as Tempo just said, he Photon overcharged the pylon at the front and didn't have anything back at home, lost it, and boo-hoo,
he didn't
GG,
have a pylon
well
in his
played.
mineral line either, so I feel like he was a bit of trouble.
He had one in a decent location where he could have at least put the thing in Padre's head, as in I have to worry about that and I can't just run into the mineral line. But yeah, it just never happened. No flutter, no recharge. Then Padre expertly takes a natural, secures a good economy, and even adds on the robotics facility. Sometimes you see Protoss is sticking to Stargate, but he was just, dotting all his I's, crossing all his T's, rounding, making sure he hasn't cut any corners at all. He's got very cornered edges, got very pointy edges. That'd be great.
Cut yourself.
Do you have pointy edges? Yes.
Yes, I do. Well, on the edge of the map on the bottom right corner, it is going to be our rival representative. It is the Orange Protoss, Segiifried.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, able to even it up to 1-1 last game. It is the blue Protoss from Flipside Tactics, Padre.
Parde. I believe he was the captain of Clarity, but maybe not. I remember
Clarity was there for a while.
Were
you on Clarity?
No, I was never on Clarity, but I had a good relationship with a lot of the people that were on it, because I cast a lot in the Demos Esport Team League, and got to
Segiifried. I was just gonna say, both players setting out those probes. For a moment, I thought the shenanigans were gonna take place, but both probes are gonna high-five each other in the middle of the map. Actually, just gonna pass straight on through each other. Neither realizes they're both ghosts. They're dead. They're just doing their job that they've always done their entire life.
Yeah. It sucks, right? Like, imagine that is your life, Drenok. Back and forth.
That's literally their life, back and forth, mineral field, back, and then one probe out of 24. I can't do math, but you have a small chance of maybe having the opportunity to go out and build a building, go out and scout.
I'd rather be a drone though, because like you could at least potentially be like an ultralisk cavern, but imagine getting like the
You're 5% chance, I think. Yeah, imagine being an ultralisk cavern. Like you're breeding, you're impregnated with ultralisks, man.
I don't think that would be too bad, though, you know? I mean, I'd rather be
you
that.
Wouldn't want to be impregnated with an ultra? I'd prefer a Ling, to be quite frank, but...
True. But if you gotta go big or go home, Drenok, you know? That's what I think.
I agree, go big or go home, especially with babies, man. Just like the pro Padre will try to... Hello, cool. Padre scouts the natural base of Segiifried. Both players are mirroring each other pretty darn well right now. Padre does have a very slight worker lead. He's doing quite well for himself. That is, of course, because Segiifried took 2 gas earlier on. And I wonder with Segiifried taking that, is he going for quicker Stargate, going for quicker tech? We have seen them opt for Stargate tempo as that tech so far. Segiifried!
Oh no!
Oh.
One of Segiifried's probes went down and he's saying F you Comcast, but hope you have your filters on, guys, because that's a bad word. Don't say that to your parents, you might get grounded, but one of the things that I think...
Do you not have your filter on, Tempo?
I don't have my filter on.
You want to know those bad words that they say? I have it on because
I just
people
got
call me Smurfs, and I'm like...
I have to actually leave the cast right now. My mom's cutting my internet off because she saw a bad word on my screen.
So, there's... Oh, man! I can't remember who it is, but it's someone within... Oh, no! Oh, crap. Jack Attack was just telling me that when very early on when he was playing StarCraft, there was a map that had, like, the name... like $sexy or something in it, and his dad saw it and was like, "You can't play this game because like you couldn't play Brood War."
Well, I think one of the reasons why people take double gas on this map is because your natural is going to be gold, so you're going to have a big influx of those minerals. So you might as well take double gas. Yeah, very important that you do and not get too flooded with the minerals here. And I'm still thinking about.
Still thinking about
getting
what?
Grounded.
Getting grounded, yeah, man. You better go to your mom and apologize right now. Better go to Mama Tempo. Looks like the filter. Looks like for Segiifried, he's gonna be going Twilight. The same thing for Padre, but Padre also has a robotics facility. Padre is taking a much more offensive stance to Segiifried's a little more economic right now, and actually quite more economic. He's really trying to drone up. I don't know what's up with him. Is he lacking? Is he just more defensive?
He's getting Blink right now. He's teching up for a nice Blink push, but what's going on over here for Padre is that he's going for Blink himself, but he's already added the 3 gateways, which Segiifried...
He's adding on 3 more. I mean, Padre truly hit the... Oh, I like it from Segiifried.
Yo, do you know what this means, Drenok? No detection here for Padre. Oh, wait, he has a robotic...
He's got one. Yep. He's got an observer out. He's set. Well, for Padre, he probed up at his natural so dang quickly that the gold influx, there's the little opportunity where it's different than a normal natural base. Of course, you have more minerals, but then it's going to mine out. There's a area of time where you can hit it, and you just hit this wave, and you ride the wave all the way to the shore, and it's amazing. And Padre hit that. He's got a huge lead, because what I was saying before is, it's so weird. Segiifried has only one gate to the 5 to 6 of Padre, but they're like the same, and that's just because Padre probed up much, much quicker. He's got all these gates. His economy's really safe, and DT rush, I don't know.
Might get, I think he might just die here, man.
And he just wants a DT rush. He just hates his internet right now. He's like, I'm gonna DT rush. You don't need micro. We'll see how it works. But no, I agree. I think
he just straight up dies, man. Like, the DTs are gonna go in, but he does have the observer and the potential to make them. Photon overcharge with an observer will be really nice here, and I think that the sheer production out of Padre is just gonna completely wreck Segiifried.
Overwhelm, yeah.
I don't know what he's supposed to do.
Overwhelming, man.
Yeah, what is he supposed to actually do here, Drenok? I mean, it's a lot of stalkers
at home, though. This, I mean, if he's got a lot of force fields, but there's blink down. Yeah, I don't know. See? Big stalkers move in, focus down Sentry. Another stalker is focused down. There's only a Mothership Core and that one stalker left, and one DT, but an observer is on top of it. Sadly, Segiifried does not have an observer to snipe that observer in the air itself, and DT goes down. Looks like the DTs of Segiifried are taking a long path around. They're going to start doing damage, but there's an observer at home for Padre, and he's airtight at home, and on the other side of the map, he's almost closed the lid on Segiifried to be airtight. It looks like he's going to push up into the main, finish it off, and what's here for Segiifried. GG, I believe.
Oh, God. Double gateway production. That's it, man. GG.